And now let's talk entertainment. Like Bella indicated, we're about to have a conversation about artiste management. Now, that has come under contention so many times. Many people have referred to their managers as follow. Some people say they don't even get them shows, they don't book anything for them. And sometimes when they part ways, we get to hear every time, most often actually, the artiste labeling the manager as a wicked person, somebody who decided to dupe them sort of or swindle them, they didn't live up to the contract that they were given. Well, today we get to hear from the managers themselves. Here in Ghana, Bulldog, as is called by many. His real name is Lawrence Esiama Hansen. He's the CEO of Bull House Entertainment, known as the manager of Shatawale, who's a dancehall artist. In time past, he's managed the likes of 5-5, and the list goes on and on. All the way from Nigeria, joining us via Zoom is the man Ubi Franklin. Ubi Franklin is the CEO of Made Men Music Group, and they have managed Techno, Inyanya, Imanaira, and some other names have been managed by Ubi Franklin. So we'll be having a conversation again about artiste management and all that it has to do with it. So welcome, gentlemen. Thank you, Ubi, for joining us via Zoom, and thank you, Bu, for making time to be with us in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I start with you because you are far away. Bull has been with us here, and I know that even just this weekend, he's been training because of this issue. Now, what really is the thing called artist management? Is it just somebody waking up and saying, I found a talent and I'm going to manage that talent? Or it's a whole group of people coming together to scout for talent, invest in them, look for shows for them? What is artist management?
Artist management is a professional job, like a lawyer, a doctor. You need a special skill to do it. Unfortunately, the issues that the underlying issues within our music industry in Africa is that we don't respect contracts. So, for example, some guys came into artist management by believing in the artist, whereby they were able to get the artist from saying, oh, listen, I believe in you, I can push your songs, I can take you anywhere, I can take you on radio, on TV, I can do the link up, right? And some guys believed in that. That helped them become managers to these artists, right? So now, on the flip side, most of the artists, when they become big, they now see the managers as though they had no contribution to what they were doing as artists, right? Now, on the manager side, there are things that you can do to keep yourself as relevant as possible as one of the strongest people in an artist's career. So for me, artist management is like saying, artist management is looking at an artist, understanding what brand that artist brings to the table, and pushing that artist and representing that artist in different places. But some people are not artist managers, they're actually PAs. An artist manager does not go and buy food or drink for an artist. An artist manager does not go on errands for the artist. An artist manager does the professional jobs like making sure that his music is properly plugged, making sure that he has the right deals that come to him, making sure that he has the right representation outside, liaising with stylists, liaising with PR people, liaising with the A&Rs, the artists and repertoire, liaising with most of the people and making sure that he gives these artists the right advice. The artist manager sits down and understands the artist, understands the creation of the music in the process, puts together the team that makes the artist successful. That's the professional job. That's the job
I love the fact that you've said it's a professional job. Right here in Ghana, that word professional, when it comes to an artist manager, has come under contention. We've had an artist dare any artist manager to show us a certificate that he studied artist management. Since you say it's a professional thing, is it something that you need to sit in class for? Do you have to have a certificate to be an artist manager?
All right, there are a lot of schools out there that offer different courses in terms of how to understand the music industry, right? Now, understanding the music industry, understanding what being an artist manager is, right? Understand managing a brand. So it might not be a special course in the university or a special course out there that says artist management course, which a few people have started bringing up together. But what an artist manager needs to be ahead of every other person is, one, you need to properly understand that you should go to school and learn the nitty-gritties of music, how to plug in music, understanding what a split sheet is, understanding the global domination of music, understanding what to do. The thing is, some of these guys don't know most of these things. They are just bad carriers. See, no artist can open their mouth and say they want to and dare me. I know what I know. I'm not just an artist manager. I own the record label. I own a record label, right? I founded the record label, and under that record label, I was able to bring out some of the biggest stars Africa ever had, right? So you need to understand the contribution you put to bringing up your artists is very important. You cannot be drunk, right, before your artist. That's not a professional artist manager. When I go for shows, although I don't drink, but when I go for shows, I make sure that my artist I get to the show before the artist, make sure everything is fine. His PA brings him to the show. I make sure that I liaise with the event organizers and everything. There are professional things you do that makes you a professional. It must not be you went to school to read them. If you understand the nitty-gritties, the things that need to happen within the sector, no artist will wake up and dare you or ask you questions. So most of them, most of the artist managers, when they get to shows, they become drunk before they are artists. Most of them carry the girls before they are artists. They do things that don't put them in a professional path. So when an artist dares you, I don't think I blame the artist, because these guys have not put themselves in a professional pot to make sure that the artists see that they are professionals or they can do their job.
All right, that's Ubi all the way from Nigeria. Let's come in studio and speak to Bubu. You have been ranting, and that's for lack of a better word, because an artist said that there's no artist manager here in Ghana who can show him a certificate that they studied artist management. From what Ubi has said and all the things that we've heard, that some of the managers are followed back, they don't even get to book any shows for them. You don't still think that that artist was justified in what he said?
Good evening to...
Good evening.
Hey, sorry. I mean, good morning. Good morning to your viewers at home. And good morning to my brother all the way from Nigeria. I think he spoke very wisely, and I'm sure we'll have a very fruitful conversation because everything he said, I support 300%. He spoke about professionalism and gave an instance where he has founded a label and done
made music.
His journey is pretty much like mine. We started with Boo House Entertainment. We're still with Boo House Entertainment. We brought up 5-5. So there's a difference.
Boo, can you let the mask cover your nose instead of cover your mouth?
Charlie,
because
you see, this mask,
really
mask is not...
We'll talk about that later.
No,
but
the
go
mask
ahead.
is not working for me.
We'll talk about before we end.
I'm choking. I can die.
Okay, you won't die.
Let me take it off. Please, let me
you can't take it off. Let's hear you.
Okay. So I pretty much agree with my brother out there. You said the artist challenges the manager here
to show us a certificate. He's challenging any artist manager here in Ghana to show us a certificate. Do you have a certificate to show?
I don't need to have one.
Because you said you're a certified talent manager.
I'm certified based on my work, my journey up here. Yeah. I pretty much agree with him. There is no course, where we can go and learn artist management. Yes, like he said, these days people are bringing stuff like that up. But I've done this time and number again. I have a track record, and everybody that I worked with, go out there. My work is out there. I will not sit here to brag about it. So I am certified based on the work that I have done in the past. So no artist can come and question that certification that I've toiled on the ground to build.
Do you think that the reason why Stonebwoy will say this on TV is because, for what Ubi also has said, many of the artist managers here in Ghana follow the artists everywhere. They are carrying things and following them. They don't come across as, okay, there's a difference between me being your manager and there's a difference between me being the one who is investing in you. So it's like we are following them everywhere, running after them, chasing them, and that is why they don't give us the acknowledgement and the respect that we deserve.
I don't think so. I just thought he spoke out of emotion, based on the questions that were being thrown at him. Let me give you a classic example. So I'm in a car with Shatawale, and we're headed to a meeting. Just the two of us. Yeah? And we forgot to pick water. Or he will come across a place he feels he needs to drink some coffee. Who should go and get the coffee? Let me ask you. Who should?
Definitely. You
Exactly. So that should not let Shatawale disrespect me. It won't allow him to disrespect me. He should understand that at that very moment he felt thirsty, I was the one bringing the help. Because when he goes out to get it himself, it will cause mayhem. So no artist should undermine when an artist manager is helping out. Unless, like my brother said, you go there on the job and you're misbehaving. You're drunk, you're chilling with the girls, you'll not make sure the work that needs to be done is supposed to be done. First and foremost, the artist is your job. The artist is your job. If you have a team with you and you're going everywhere with the team, fine. But there are places you will go alone with your artist, depending on where they want to go or what they want to do, or the kind of entourage that is required to be there. So I don't believe that if an artist manager carried a bag for an artist, yeah, they should be looked at or looked down on.
Have artist managers in Ghana carried themselves in a light that will cause them to be respected?
Yes. Listen, every artist manager in Ghana is doing their bit. Listen, all these artists will not be where they are without their managers. So don't let us take that factor. I was speaking to Della yesterday. I had a conversation with her. I spoke to Arnold as well, that we are not celebrated here because nobody will put a spotlight on us and say, oh, this guy, listen, my first front page that I saw as an artist manager, do you want me to read the byline for you? It was very big on Graphic, one of their newspapers. Bulldog arrested for murder. Up until now, I've not seen any front page of mine talking about my works. And this is Ghana for you. I don't know what happens
in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria.
Obi, is that the case in Nigeria? Artist managers are not celebrated in Nigeria as well? I've seen you on many blogs. Are you there because you are label head, or you're there because you're Obi Franklin who does other things?
For case in point, right? What I've done over the years is I've positioned myself. You see, let me tell you something. I understand what my brother is saying, but you see, let me start from what he was trying to address about when you go out. See, there are meetings. I don't think an artist should leave his house without his PA. Now, if we are going for meetings and we have to go there alone, don't forget there's a driver, there's a PA, and I am the manager, right? When we are going to places, everybody knows his role. What you don't start from the beginning, you won't start coming from the end. It's as simple as that. Now, my thing is this, right? Every artist manager that is disrespected has been disrespected because of positioning. If you position yourself very well as an artist manager, there's nothing an artist will do to disrespect you. Right now in Nigeria, I'm one of the most respected artist managers. Ask anywhere, they'll tell you. My track record can speak for me. I was able to do whatever I was doing to invest in other businesses. I'm a very strong brand. So I'm not a walk in the park. So everything is positioning. If an artist manager is listening to me right now, the only thing I'll tell them is simple. Go and put yourself together. Understand the things that you are going to do. If you are about to start artist management today, understand two things. As you are building the artist, build yourself.
True.
As you are building the artist, build yourself. Position yourself.
True.
Speak well. Grant interviews where necessary. And speak about the job you are doing. Now, if you don't do those things, people ask me, how did you promote yourself? I didn't promote myself. I positioned myself.
Exactly.
Positioning is different from promoting yourself. Every time I went to a show, I'm always, you see me quiet looking at the promoter. What's going on? This is my rider. I need this. You understand? I'm an interpreter of rider. I interpret. I need you to follow my rider and give me what I deserve. See, if an artist manager is loved, he's not doing his job. Promoters don't like me. See, there are promoters that it was after years, they now say, oh, bro, we now see what you were doing. If an artist manager is liked by promoters, he's not doing his job. I'll put you on the spot. I'll ask you a question. Guy, hey, promoter A, my rider says 10 bottles of liquor. My rider says 5 packs of water. My rider says 10 towels. I interpret the rider for you. I tell you what you need to do. If you hate me that much, report me to my artist. When you report me to my artist, I ask my artist, do you want good or you want bad? If you don't want that, walk up. It's simple. So the most important thing is positioning. Position yourself very well if you're an artist manager. Forget all these artists disrespected me. Artists have disrespected me too.
Yeah.
But the disrespect will not be in the point of, the disrespect will be in terms of having conversations on how things should work.
Yeah.
Artists are very, very in their minds and believe that, oh, I'm the boss. Nobody should tell me anything. No, it's wrong. For me, I always tell artists what I want to tell you. If you don't like, leave it. Okay, recently, I had an argument with Kiss Daniel. I've managed Kiss Daniel at some point. I had an argument with him. Now, the argument was based on what? Was based on his album. He sent me songs and said, let's listen to it. Let me pick my top 14 songs or thereabout from the album. What was I doing for him at the time? I'd managed him before. I don't manage him anymore. What I was doing at the time was artist and repertoire, which is A&R. So now, if I was not good when I was managing him, he would never have called me and say, hey, listen, I'm putting out my album. I want you to help me pick songs. I picked those songs. Luckily, 7 songs out of the 14 songs I picked made this album. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the thing is, if I didn't position myself properly, an artist should not see you lying down on his couch in his parlor snoring. You understand? An artist should not see you carrying a girl and maybe trying to sneak in the girl into his house, or maybe when you go to a show, prep your artist first. Artist, you need to be out for sound check at this time. If an artist disrespects you when it's time to go for sound check, you've lost it. Exactly. Now, an artist also need to understand that we are the ones taking the blow for the entire career of the artist. So the key word here is positioning. If you position yourself, nobody will tell you anything. Do you understand? I've gone from artist manager to running more than $1 billion naira companies here in Nigeria, and I still do artist management. I still do A&R. You understand? I still position myself. So you cannot walk up to me and tell me anything. There's no artist in this Nigeria that I cannot wake up and put up the call, pick up my phone and call, and they will answer me because they know what I bring to the table. Exactly. So the key word here is, if you are going into artist management, position yourself. If you cannot position yourself, the artist will have an opportunity to play ball with you. Artists are already very annoying in the way they react with people. If you let them react with, let's be honest, if you let them react the way they are reacting with people, with you, that's it, you've lost it. Wow. Position yourself so that the guys, when he's talking to you, say, Baba Alpha, we want to do this thing. You understand? You don't need to wait for the artist to always come up with ideas. Wake up, come up with ideas. What do you think? Your album is coming out. I think we should do this. Let him see a promo plan that you've even come up with. Great. Put the team together. Make him understand that he has less job to do. Just his job should be to be recording in the studio. Do your job. Once you do your job, everything will be fine. So any artist manager that is being disrespected, I don't blame the artist. I blame him because he has not positioned himself right. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's Obi Franklin speaking. Now, back in the studio, I want us to look at why, after almost every contract that labels, management has with an artist, when they part ways, every time we hear that the manager or the management swindled them, they didn't live up to expectation. They were making money for the management. After maybe a year or two, they became big. They made so much money. Management is refusing to review the contracts they have with them.
I mean, it depends on what you guys agreed on to start with.
So we started with 5 years contract. Yeah. I'm supposed to be paid a certain amount, given certain things. At that time, I was an up and coming. You saw so much in me. In a year, 2 years, I've become a household name. I've done hits or made hits back to back. Isn't it fair when I say, can we review the 5-year contract so that I could get more than you were initially paying me?
It is fair. It's a discussion that can come at the table. Then we have a general discussion. And I think that's where most of the artists and managers fail to sit down and talk. Mostly maybe the artist will be like, oh no, I don't have that time, I want to move on. You know, and the artist manager or the management team might say, oh, we feel that we've brought you this far. It is only fair that if you're leaving now, we should have a conversation. Most of the times, there is no agreement. And that's what causes the
So there's
the
no
quarrel.
contract sometimes from the initial stages. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you see, what are contracts? Contracts could be written, it could be
verbal.
It could be verbal. You understand what I'm saying? And for me, I believe that based on your work that you put in, your input as a management team or as a manager in developing the artist would always see you in that light that, listen, this team has helped me reach this point A. And I think they can take me to point B. So it actually depends on
Have you regretted sticking to verbal contracts than a written agreement?
No, I mean, in most cases in my career, I think for me, look, I had the opportunity and rare opportunity to work with Africa's biggest group, VVIP. I mean, VIP.
VIP.
Yes, and there was no contract to it.
It was just a verbal agreement.
Yes, and we stuck to it for 2 years. We had no qualms. For 2 years, it worked properly because these are professionals, and they came to do a job. I got in as a professional with my team, and we also went to do a job. We assembled a team for them by their choice because these are gentlemen that have gone around Africa and they're experienced.
You won't say the same for a younger artist who was just beginning, you just had a verbal agreement with, and they begin to get the attention of other labels or management. They just wake up one day and say, we never had a contract at all. So
I wouldn't advise anybody who's starting on with a young artist not to do a contract. It's very important. I mean, like I'll say, when we started out, we had contracts with 5-5, I1, Natural Face. It's very important that you do that. Even with the big acts, you still need that. But then if there's before a contract, what's a contract? A contract is a discussion. Both parties need to agree before we put it in paper, then we all sign to it. So if both parties are living to expectations, because there are contracts that are broken as well. They're written, signed and everything, and they go ahead and break it.
That one, at least you can seek redress in court.
Yeah, you can't. But even with the verbal contract, you can't. You still can't.
Really?
Yes.
Let's find out from Ubi. Ubi, are you into verbal contracts, or you have always done written contracts? Because we are just having a conversation about what will happen if a contract goes bad or somebody decides to not abide by the contract, yet it was just a verbal conversation.
Okay, see, for me, I've always said this. Everyone that wants to go into artist management, with any artist, my advice is simple. You must sign a contract. Well, you see, let me tell you where it's very, very painful. Unfortunately, where we come from in Africa, we disrespect the rule of law. We disrespect contracts. Even our legal system, I don't know about Ghana, but our legal system has not successfully jailed or cautioned one person for breach of contract in our creative space. Now, the problem now is not about, now we sign contracts believing that God Almighty, may this guy respect this contract. That's what we do right now. Now, you see, that's where I go back to what I was saying before. Now, the value you bring to the table is what strengthens your contract right now. People don't respect contracts anymore. These days, you sign contract with the sign of the cross, going up every day, praying to God that this contract should be honored. So that's the problem. It's not about signing. See, you can sign any contract you want to sign, but would the person honor the contract? Now, once the person honors the contract, you now leave. Okay, for example, an artist manager, you go to court, you hire a lawyer, you spend money to fight for what?
I like that.
What are you fighting for? Now, but if you position yourself well, you can use the kind of things you've done, your track record.
Exactly.
All right. So like my brother in the studio, he had managed people before he is where he is now. It's his track record that is working for him. That is the CV that we have. Our CV is made public by the people that we work with, the success that we've given to artists. That's our CV. And that's the most important thing about contract. The contract we sign, the guy can wake up in the morning and tell you, I didn't sign a contract with you. What are you going to do? You go to court to contest it. You spend your money. You understand? When you finish spending your money, what will happen? When you finish spending your money, you know the funny thing, if unfortunately for you, the judge or the lawyers that are on the other side are fans to the artists, you are done.
I like that. I like that.
So the problem in our legal system is deep. The creative, for me, that's what I was saying. I was discussing something in our, I said, we need to have a creative industry court.
Yeah.
Where everything focused on our creative industry are lawyers that are entertainment lawyers and judges that are entertainment lawyers entertainment judges, and they have the knowledge about our entertainment industry. Now, if you go on arbitration, let's say okay, you have issues and you do arbitration. You go there, the artist can maybe decide not to come. You send maybe a representative, maybe his lawyer. You go there, his lawyer. I want to hear from you, an artist. Tell me what I did, why you did not honor my contract. It's simple. But these guys they don't care. These guys don't care. They don't care. So the thing is, we work with artists based on faith.
Exactly.
We work with these guys based on faith. Maybe they might sack me tomorrow. Let me keep hustling what I'm hustling. But the most important thing is, once you have value, you have value. If this guy leaves you, look, check. Let me before I round this up. Let me give you a little scenario. Check the Nigerian entertainment industry. Check the African entertainment industry. Check even in Ghana. When a good manager or a good record label leaves an artist, you know the difference. People say, oh, when I was talking on your radio show.
Yes, you're speaking to me about Nyanya's case, and I was asking whether you cursed him.
No, see, people say curse. No, there's nothing like curse.
Exactly.
If my brother in the studio will bear me witness, when you start a career with an artist, you are his father, you are his mother, you are his decision maker, you are everything to the artist.
Thank you.
You give him the advices based on, because artists are very emotional. They don't know they don't know what to do sometimes. So what you do is, you do everything for the artist. You build the relationships with him. Artists sometimes are very selfish. So they don't know how to build relationships with people. So what happens? These guys, you build all these things for them. You create this thing for them. When you leave and you don't manage them again, you know what they're doing? They have to go and start building something. It's like building a house after 5 years. You now remember that, oh, in the foundation, you need to dig it out, and what you've done is you've crumbled everything, and it will take you time to build it back. So that time it's taking you to build it back. Your career is going to face what we call
a drought.
You know, in Ghana you call it cycle, right? Your career is going to keep going around in circles. Until you are able to understand that if you are. I always tell artists, if you are leaving a record label, or if you are leaving a management company, especially people that have been in your career for years, the things you should do are simple. One, set up a proper way to exit, a proper exit plan. Wake up, if the manager is here, get somebody that you believe that you trust in to be an assistant manager to that guy, to oversee the things that the guy is doing, at least for a year and 6 months, or at least 2 years. Why not set up a record label under the label you are about to leave? Let them train you, put you in positions, and then you can now exit easily. But these guys, they want to wake up every morning, they shake their head. No, I'm going to go. Boom, you go. And then out of let's say 100% of them, right? Out of 100%, it's only 5% that always escape that. And those ones are the ones that know that built relationships on their own within the industry. But the ones that don't care about anybody, they just do what they like, they always end up going back to square one. You see them start hustling. You drop a song that you usually drop in the past. You think that people are not playing it. It's because you are not getting the right people to tell you the truth.
Okay, we have to go, but before we go, let me just ask you this last question. Lawrence here believes that a manager cannot manage a female manager. You're on record to have managed a Manaira in time past. And I see a story by Pulse.com that says that you managed her, but you had a romantic relationship with her. Is that to say that what Lawrence believes is true, that it's not easy, or it's going to be totally difficult for a male to manage a female?
I'm not going to talk about anybody, but this is what I'm going to say. most times, right, unfortunately, when you're managing, you see, let me tell you something. You believe me, bro, in the studio, Lawrence, you believe me if I say this, right?
Yeah.
When you're managing even a male artist, you get sometimes very, very emotionally attached to the artist.
Thank you. Very true. Very true. Very, very true.
When you're managing an artist, see, music business music comes from the place of love.
Ah, Charlie.
We don't sing sad songs.
Oh, Charlie.
Now, when you start managing a female artist, there's a possibility that you guys will end up either being in a relationship. This is the honest truth.
True.
But you see, if you are a married man managing a female artist, it's always better because the lack of emotions will be there. But now you see, when you are not connected emotionally with the artist, it becomes difficult to sell to people.
Charlie, this guy.
Now you see, I've managed different female artists, right? And when I get to that point, I start trying to withdraw from it because it affects the business after a while. There's no female artist that is being managed by a single male manager that will say that at some point she's not
Ah, Charlie.
Okay, just when the conversation was getting even more interesting and Bo was scoring points with what Ubi has been saying or saying, we lost audio, we lost the sound there. But that's all time will allow us. Thank you very much. Ubi Franklin is CEO of Made Men Music Group in Nigeria. Lawrence Esiama Hansen, known as Bulldog, is CEO of Bull House Entertainment. He needs to rush off because he has another show to attend. Thank you very much. But you have vindicated, right? This has vindicated you. Just a yes or no. Yes or no, we need to go.
No, yes.
Yes.
I mean, and he spoke very well. I mean, he said everything I would have said.
He said everything you'd have said.
Yes.
Anyway, so